Solutions. Thanks for viewing our video. Going to be a short video about our workflow diagram and what it does inside the system from estimating through production plan. So the latest innovation from HiFlow Solutions is its workflow diagram. The version was updated in 2019 and up to present day. So that's what we're going to be looking at. Why it's unique, it's got a great graphic representation of a packaging, label, flexo, printing job. And what that workflow is estimate through production. So the idea is you can see it. Every detail, the job is accessible on screen, machines, people, materials, processes. We can show the ROI is greatly enhanced because we have the workflow diagram. This makes the job flow faster from estimator to planner to in production to scheduling with fewer touches, fewer people having to be in the job. Seeing the workflow of a job and being able to view additional details at a glance is a huge time saver for all steps in the production process. So I'll jump right into it. So where we first see the job itself, meaning the job workflow, is from an estimate. So in an estimate, you've projected what that workflow is because you have to know all your costs and what you're going to sell it for. This is the workflow diagram. And what I mean by that is it's a full, complete diagram of what's going to take place with this job. And of course, you can click down into the view, but I'm just going to drag you across. So we know, first of all, it's going to hit a sheet fed press. This is probably a 20-point box. Yes, it is. It's going to go foil stamping. Then it's going to get some embossing. Then, of course, it's going to get die cut, stripped out, folded and glued, and packed in cartons on pallets to go to the customer. So we see that in one shot. These screens are adjustable. So based on the user, you can adjust things. When I click on an oval, that particular machine and all the details for what I need is there. And of course, a mini view is over here of the whole workflow, which I can expand or detract. That's up to me. So of course, I know what press I've projected to put it on. I've projected what materials I need. I've projected, all the elements of the imposition. So all that's over there. We can also drag and drop. So let's say we did plan prior to this. So we had to plan for a die or we had to plan for whatever. I know in estimating, we used to get those quite a bit when it was, a specialty box. That is then dragged and dropped right into the system. So again, as an estimator, I can see exactly what we're supposed to do. If I don't have this, I can always estimate from total inches. So again, just one more helpful tool to make my life easier and go faster as an estimator, but also then production planner can pick it up and say, oh, that was the CAD, that's the number, I'm all set to go, it's been okayed. So as we go across here in the workflow diagram, there are several attributes, right, that you can drill down. So maybe I want to drill down into the foil stamping and see exactly what was supposed to take place, what dies I needed. Is the die available, or is it something that has to be bought and made, or do I make them inside? And then the elements of the sheet and the die, and again, the impositions here as well. So any type of document can be brought in here and included in, viewing the workflow. If I want to go back out a level, it's simple as that, level above. And you just keep right on going to where, you want to dig down into something. So, what I need for, excuse me, for the die cutting. So what die, all the availabilities. We even do a die tracking. So die tracking means if you've done a box previously and it's a die that is still good, you can project how many impressions, how sharp it is, how many times it's been used, if it needs to be resharpened, so on and so forth. And that is done through shop floor data. So the system does rely on shop floor data to update everything, and it's just part of what we have projected in estimating. So again, I'm just showing you what we do in estimating to bring this all together so we have proper costs, and then we have, of course, a sell price, whether I project the sale price or a salesperson projects the sale price, we have it all. And as I said, you can, save time because you're saving time and labor costs. You're making fewer mistakes and fewer, make-readies and spoilages and things like that because you've completely pre-planned it and someone has checked it. And of course, these estimates can be done from templates. So if you do a style of work, like this is a folding box with many components, I start with a template, and that template has this workflow diagram in it. So when we turn an estimate into a job, it's quite simple, because we simply come over to our project and we start. So that's our box again with all of our materials, and as simple as we did the estimate, we're going to register the PO. So most of our users, again, they're going to use this system that way. So the idea is that you're registering stuff, you're putting stuff in, you're making sure you have the proper materials, everything else. So PO is always important. And once we activate this, then you're activating the job itself, and you're activating all the work estimating has done and bringing all the components from estimating into the job. So at that point, we're going to make sure we've got the correct item. So we're just going to drop in the items, and we're going to add the items that we want, because maybe we estimated 6 different items on an estimate, but we're only producing one of the items. So again, the idea is the estimate can contain many, many functions. If you have customer information numbers, they will be recorded, or if you're doing inventory numbers, you can do it as well. So the idea is that you're tracking everything from start to finish. Of course, what quantities? So we're going to put in the proper quantity. If they came back and said, hey, can you do 42,000, and we can just put in 42 and it'll do the correct estimate and the correct pricing based on what we did in this estimate. Of course, shipping dates, always important. We're looking to get it out here on the 13th, because they're next door to us. It's going to be delivered in the morning. And we have one single delivery address, but if we had many, we could certainly put it in. So the idea is to be able to drop and drag everything in. Once you're happy with that, you simply say okay. At that point, we have to verify. So it's a verification process. We verified it. Now we're going to create the job. So this all can be done within less than a minute. Once you're into the job itself, if you're, say, a planner, as I was for many years, I want to go in and double check everything estimating's given me. Maybe I want to make some tweaks because I know something about going on the floor that the estimator wouldn't have known of, when they estimated it. All of my screens are exactly the same as theirs. So all that information transferred directly over from estimating to production planning. And then, of course, I can add anything else. I can drag in documents. I can make notations. I might want to tighten up some of the specifications for the job. I may change the sheet in position because I see a better way to do it. So the idea is you're transferring that information from estimating to production planning. You have an estimated cost. You have a production cost going into production. And then if you're doing shop floor data, which we need in the system in order to make everything work, you'll have a final actual cost. So the workflow diagram really plays an integral part to everything about this job. Right? We really believe this innovation shows great promise for the packaging, for flexible board, for all you guys, even corrugated. So we're very heavily involved in those industries, as well as the label industry and as well as commercial printing. So what we see are what I call high value is you save time and labor costs, right? Who doesn't want to save labor costs? Make fewer errors, and then of course, lessen your spoilage. To be honest with you, we've seen shops, gain 4, 5, 6, 7, 8% because they stick to, everybody having access to the material they need. You want to know everything about it, a workflow, and what about the job? There it is. What about it? What are we doing? How are we doing it? And ease for managers, employees to get in and out and double check themselves. It's all role based. So hopefully that, automates the system for you. And HiFlow Solutions really works on automation. We even go as far as having tools and devices that you can put on machines, and you're good. So I just wanted to give you that short video. Thank you for taking a look at our workflow diagram, which I think is very special and unique. I know our users do. And have a great afternoon.